In the last video, we learnt about energy resources, and we also learned that they can be divided under two broad headings. One is conventional or non-renewable resources, and the other is non-conventional or renewable resources. In this video, we will be learning about conventional or non-renewable resources. So these are the different types of conventional resources that has been used since many years, where uranium is an exception because uranium provides us with nuclear energy, which is a more modern form of energy. However, all of them here are non-renewable because they take a lot of time to come back to their efficient form. So let's first talk about the most important conventional resource, and that is coal. So let's see how coal was formed. So many years ago, when dead remains of plants and animals, particularly of forested swamps, got buried in the seabeds, there they got deposited on layers, and eventually over the years, on receiving pressure and heat under the earth's surface, they got converted into coal. So what exactly is coal? Coal is a fossil fuel, right? And it is a combustible black or brownish black sedimentary rock. So let's understand each component of the sentence. So first it says that it is combustible. What does combustible mean? Combustible means that it can easily burn. Secondly, it is black or brownish black. That tells you about the color of the coal. And they are also referred to as sedimentary rocks because there was a deposition of sediments which included dead remains of microorganisms and living organisms and also plants, along with mud, silt and sand. So they got deposited in layers, and over the years, after receiving heat from the earth's core and pressure from the overlying layers of the earth, they got converted into coal. Other than that, they also have a high carbon content. So higher the carbon content, higher will be the efficiency of that particular coal. So let's see how coal is extracted. Well, coal can be extracted from the earth's surface either by surface mining or underground mining. Now out of these two, surface mining is preferred when the coal is around 61 meters or around 200 feet below the earth's surface. But if it's deeper, then underground mining is used to extract coal. After extraction, coal can be directly used for heating and for industrial processes or to fuel power plants in order to generate electricity. So coal is a very important fossil fuel that is used to fuel most of the power plants or industries in order to generate electricity and for various other activities. So coal has a high heat efficiency. So what do we mean by high heat efficiency? It only means that a very small amount of coal can be used to produce large amount of heat energy, right? So it has a high heat efficiency and it is comparatively cheaper as a source of energy. So if you place or compare coal with other fossil fuels like natural gas or petroleum, then coal is much more cheaper, and so it is more widely used. This is why coal is one of the most important components for steel production. So we can say that iron and steel industries heavily depend upon coal as a fuel. So coal also has a high market value or has a high economic value. However, not all coal is of the best quality. It can be graded depending upon the carbon content in the coal. The best quality coal is anthracite, which has the highest carbon content, followed by bituminous, which is followed by lignite, and then we have peat. So we can say that here anthracite has the highest carbon content, so it is the best quality coal, whereas peat with the lowest carbon content has a very low economic value because the carbon content is not as high, so the quality is not as good as anthracite or bituminous or lignite. So these were the different types of coal. So let us point out the major coal reserves in India. And what are these? We have Tamil Nadu, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal and Odisha. So these are the places with the major coal reserves in India. So now let us point out the leading producers of coal in the world. These are USA, South Africa, France, Germany, India, Russia, China and Australia. Out of all these countries, China is the largest producer of coal in the world. So, coal is very important natural resource. Why? Because it has a high heat efficiency. Other than that, it is much more cheaper in comparison to other conventional resources of energy. So it is used globally and it has a high economic value. Even in developing countries like India, power generation is carried out by conventional resources of energy, particularly coal. So coal has a major share in helping to generate electricity in countries like India. So from this pie chart, it is quite evident that coal covers almost 50% of the share in generating electricity. Other than coal, other conventional sources used to generate electricity is natural gas and diesel, which is a petroleum based fuel. Only 40% or nearly 40% of the share is held by renewable resources. So you see that coal is much more in comparison to the entire renewable resource capacity to generate electricity or any other form of energy. So we just saw how important coal is as an energy resource. However, when this fossil fuel is burnt, then harmful greenhouse gases are released into the atmosphere that can be very, very dangerous for all forms of life on Earth. Other than that, since it is a non-renewable resource, it is limited in nature, but the way we are carelessly using these limited resources, it will soon lead to its extinction. So we need to be careful and find better alternatives to such non-renewable resources. Did you know that most of the things that we are surrounded by on a regular basis is made out of petroleum? Petroleum is another very important conventional resource of energy. So you see that the button on the shirt, the belt, the tie, which is made out of a synthetic textile, the shoelace, the mirror on the car, and even the ball, the stroller, the syringe, the credit card, all of these are made out of petroleum, which is a very important fossil fuel. So let's see how petroleum is formed. When decomposed organic matter, including dead marine plants and animals, get deposited one after another in layers on the seabed, they receive heat and pressure from the Earth's surface, and over the years, on continuous heat and pressure on these decomposed organic matter, they get converted into fossil fuels. This fossil fuel is then detected using new technologies and modern machines, as you can see here. So they are detected, and after detection, oil fields are set up where these fossil fuels are extracted. Now, since these fossil fuels are deep under the Earth's surface, they take a very long time from getting extracted from the source and getting transferred to the oil refineries. So when they are transferred to the oil refineries, they get refined and different byproducts of petroleum is formed, like gasoline, petrol, diesel and many other important fuels. So what exactly is petroleum? Petroleum, or liquid gold is also known as black gold, is a mineral oil. Now, why is it a mineral oil? So we just saw that deposition of decomposed organic matter in different layers leads to the formation of petroleum after receiving heat and pressure from the earth's surface. Now, since they are derived from different layers or sedimentary rocks, therefore it is a mineral oil. Now, there are some very important byproducts of petroleum, which are petrol, diesel, kerosene and LPG or liquefied petroleum gas. You must have seen this and you must be knowing that we use these fuels on a regular basis. So it has a huge demand in market, and therefore we can say that petroleum has a high economic value. Just like coal, it also has a high economic value or has a good market demand. So petroleum is an important conventional or non-renewable resource that is used on a regular basis and has a high economic value. So non-renewable because, as we saw, it takes millions of years to form petroleum, so it cannot be renewed as easily as any other resource. And conventional because petroleum has been used since many, many years. So before moving on, could you help me answer this question? Which of the following is known as black gold? Diamond, coal, petroleum or iron? Yes, we just learned that petroleum is known as black gold. So let's point out the major petroleum reserves in India. So the major petroleum reserves in India are in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra and Assam. Out of all these reserves, Mumbai High is one of the most important offshore oil field where petroleum is extracted, and Digboi in Assam is one of the most important onshore oil field from where we get petroleum. So let's see the leading producers of petroleum in the world. We have USA, Canada, Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Russia. Out of these places, USA is regarded as the largest producer of petroleum in the world. So though petroleum is a very important fossil fuel and it's a very important conventional resource of energy, it also has certain side effects or negative effects. And what are these? So since petroleum gives us byproducts such as vehicular fuels, so vehicular fuels on being used by different types of vehicles leads to the emission of greenhouse gases, harmful greenhouse gases, which may include carbon dioxide in large quantities. We also have sulfur dioxide and nitrous oxide. So these are some of the most harmful greenhouse gases that are released as a part of vehicular emissions that use petroleum based fuels. Now since they release these harmful greenhouse gases, they also contribute to air pollution and can be very dangerous for both humans and animals living on Earth. So we just saw how harmful these vehicular emissions could be. 3.5 million people from a recent report were believed to be dying out of these vehicular emissions. So we soon need to change or switch to bicycles or electric vehicles that can be more safer and sustainable alternatives to the present vehicles. So burning of petroleum-based fuels can lead to the release or emission of harmful greenhouse gases that can be very, very dangerous and can also add to air pollution. Other than that, oil spills is a major issue that is being faced globally. Oil spills during extraction of petroleum or crude oil pollute water bodies and harm the marine life, both marine plants and animals. So you see, from these pictures, it is quite evident how unfortunate the situation is. An important energy resource like petroleum, when carelessly being handled, is leading to not only the wastage of this limited resource, but also causing harm to the life of marine plants and animals. Now let's talk about another very important fossil fuel, and that is natural gas. Natural gas is formed in a similar manner like petroleum, where decomposed organic matter get deposited one after another in layers, and over the years, on receiving heat and pressure from the Earth's surface, they get converted into a fossil fuel called natural gas. Right? These natural gases are then detected using modern machines and technologies, as you can see here, in the similar manner how petroleum was detected. Then from the gas fields, this natural resource is extracted and it is sent to gas refineries. There, this impure natural gas is refined. It is refined and all unnecessary compounds and sediments are removed, and then we receive or get refined natural gas. This refined natural gas is then converted or either compressed into different forms and then distributed to various parts of the world. Did you know that natural gas is much more cleaner form of energy resource in comparison to other fossil fuels or energy resources? So when we burn natural gas, there is 60% less carbon content, or the emission of carbon dioxide is much more less in comparison to coal or petroleum when they are burnt. So using natural gas is a better option definitely. Natural gas is refined to get CNG, that is compressed natural gas, and LPG, that is liquefied petroleum gas. So when it is refined to get CNG and LPG, then CNG is used in various vehicles, as you can see here in this particular image, by autos, by motorbikes, by buses, by cars, and it is also being installed in various oil stations in different parts of the country, and it is believed to be a more safer and cleaner form of fossil fuel in comparison to coal or petroleum. Other than that, LPG is used as cooking gas. The cylinders that we use at our homes to cook contains LPG, which is a product of natural gas. So natural gas, besides being a safer and a more sustainable form of energy resource, also is used on a regular basis, and it is a wiser choice to switch to natural gas as it emits less of carbon dioxide, thus cutting on air pollution. So far, we learnt about three important conventional or non-renewable resources, that is coal, petroleum and natural gas. Globally, electricity generation is done using conventional or non-renewable resources, and renewable resources like geothermal energy, wind energy or solar energy shares a very small portion in electricity generation. So you can see from this very pie chart that coal has the maximum share in electricity generation, followed by hydropower, natural gas, oil and nuclear energy. So if we keep using these limited non-renewable resources, then there will be a time very soon where there will be no resources left to provide us with any form of energy, and we will face a major energy crisis. Due to carelessly burning fossil fuels in huge quantities like coal, petroleum and natural gas, it has led to various emissions of harmful greenhouse gases as well as vehicular emissions that has heated up the earth to such an extent that there is a continuous 2-degree rise of global mean surface temperature of the earth. This is a major problem, and we soon need to find alternatives in order to have a healthier and safer future. So we saw that there is a 2-degree rise in average global temperature of the Earth. This is because we are continuously using conventional sources of energy like coal, petroleum, and natural gas, which are found to be most energy efficient. However, they are non-renewable, limited, and very harmful as they emit greenhouse gases. Right? We need to find alternatives, better alternatives, and we need to conserve these non-renewable resources for our future generations. So from this report of 1999 to 2020, there has been a good growth of renewable capacity. Right? However, the carbon dioxide emission is no less. It is giving equal competition to the capacity growth of renewables. So this only means that our efforts are not really helping. So to throw light on the fact that our measures are not enough to combat climate change and the problems we are facing because of using these limited resources is this particular example. This is a report from 2014 that shows you the share of population with no access to electricity at all. So these are the different countries that have faced electricity crisis in the year 2014. Now, you see that India is topping the list. India has the maximum number of people who have no access to electricity, and it is the second most populous country in the world. However, from the recent reports or from the recent studies, it has found out that there has been a surge in the demand of electricity in India. This is because power producers are not ready to import coal that is very costly and therefore incur losses. Now, this only means that we need to either encourage domestic production of coal or rather switch to better alternatives than using coal, which is a limited resource of energy. So where we or most of us are carelessly using these limited non-renewable resources, there are places with no access to this important necessity that is electricity. Yes, in developing countries like India, there are places with no access to electricity at all. Can you imagine a day without electricity? No, it is very, very difficult. Around 3% of the schools in India operate without electricity even today. Isn't that very unfortunate? Yes, it is. So what can we do about it? We can simply be very responsible on our part and not use these energy resources, these limited energy resources carelessly. So today in this video, we learned about conventional or non-renewable energy resources. We also focused on some of the most important ones, that is coal, petroleum, and natural gas. Out of these, we found that natural gas is one of the more better alternatives in comparison to coal and petroleum as a fossil fuel because it leads to lesser emission of carbon dioxide. We also learned that there have been millions of deaths due to vehicular emissions, and so we need to switch soon to bicycles or electric vehicles. Though electric vehicles are costly initially, however, in a longer run, they can be much more sustainable and cleaner forms of transportation. So in the next video, we will learn about energy resources that are renewable and non-conventional. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers or to get access to all our 5,000 plus amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million-plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock test. Get all your doubts resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it is rewarding too. So register for free now.